When you look at the list of the 193 member countries of the United Nations, you realize that the surface area of one of them does not reach double digits. With only 2 square kilometers, Principality of Monaco is the smallest sovereign country with access to the sea in the world, and its status in the face of the world would be the same as that of any country. How has it been able to maintain its independence despite being close to such great powers? Are you interested? All right, then stay until the end of the video. But before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We will be uploading 3 videos a week, so you won't miss them. First, notions of geography. Principality of Monaco is a 2 square kilometer territory located on the French Riviera near the border with Italy and completely surrounded by France. It has a coastline of 3,800 meters, and its territory is part of the Alps, with the King's Road being its highest point. Bet you didn't expect this microstate to have both coast and mountain? Briefly touching on its history, the first sedentary inhabitants who lived in the region where Principality of Monaco is located were the Ligures, one of the many pre-Roman peoples of Italy whose origin is ambiguous. Over the following centuries, various human groups passed through this place, such as the Greeks, Etruscans, Phoenicians, and of course the Romans. During the Middle Ages, the territory fell under the influence of the Holy Roman Empire, which was experiencing an era of litigation between 2 factions known as the Guelphs and Ghibellines. In 1215, a delegation of Genoese Ghibellines began the construction of a fortress on the rock of Principality of Monaco to control the region against the Guelphs, which is considered the beginning of the modern history of the Principality. A few decades later, in 1297, a Genoese Guelph named Francesco Grimaldi captured this fortress, even though he did not have a large army, with whom he entered disguised as a Franciscan monk. Once established, the Grimaldi dynasty was founded, which from then on would ally with the King of France and continues to rule to this day in Principality of Monaco. Over the centuries, Principality of Monaco experienced a moment of sovereignty, followed by periods when they were occupied by the Republic of Genoa, which emerged as a commercial power in the Mediterranean, and whose interest in Principality of Monaco lay in its geographical position on the French Riviera. It is important to highlight that throughout the Middle Ages and modern times, the Monegasque territory was not surrounded by France, but by the County of Nice, which in turn was part of Savoy, a duchy member of the Holy Roman Empire, which, as you may know, was an organization of various states of all sizes and power within a feudal system where the Holy Emperor was the highest authority. Despite not having borders with France, the reigning Grimaldi dynasty in Principality of Monaco always showed unconditional support to this kingdom, to the point of sending reinforcements for the Battle of Crécy during the 100 Years' War against the English, of which you can see more in detail in this video. However, the protection offered by France was not constant, so the Grimaldi family was encouraged to seek other guarantors such as Spain during the reign of Onorato Prim of Principality of Monaco. In 1524, the Treaty of Tordesillas was signed, yes, namesake of the treaty with Portugal, in which the Lord of Principality of Monaco commits to pay homage to the King of Spain in exchange for his protection. Upon the expiration of this treaty in 1641, the then ruler Onorato II signs the Treaty of Peronne, in which he again obtains the protection of France by then one of the main powers in Europe. Onorato is also remembered for becoming the first prince of Principality of Monaco, as his diplomatic skills earned his country the recognition of the then King Louis XIII of France as a sovereign principality under his protection. With the arrival of the French Revolution at the end of the 18th century, the monarchy falls, and therefore the protection of Principality of Monaco. It is here when the small principality is annexed to France and is named Fort D, Hercule, a status that would end after the Napoleonic Wars. After this, it obtains the protection of the Kingdom of Sardinia, a state that at that time surrounded the entirety of Principality of Monaco. It's important to note that at that time the Grimaldi domains covered 24 square kilometers. This would change in 1861, when Sardinia ceded the county of Nice to France after its support during the Italian unification. It is here when the Principality is for the first time completely surrounded by France, with whom it signs the Franco-Monegasque Treaty of 1861. In it, France recognizes the country's sovereignty in exchange for having to cede the towns of Menton and Roquebrune-Cap-Martin. In other words, full independence cost Principality of Monaco almost 85% of its territory. Around 1918, a new treaty is signed with France after a succession crisis in Principality of Monaco, as there was the possibility that the Duke of Urach from Germany would take the throne. In this treaty, France promises its protection while respecting its sovereignty in such a way that Monegasque foreign policy aligns with French interests, and among them was that Principality of Monaco should have no influence from its German enemies. During the Second World War, the Grimaldi family declared its neutrality while maintaining financial ties with the Third Reich. By 1940, Principality of Monaco would be surrounded by the collaborationist regime of Vichy France, with whom it would in turn collaborate by approving anti-Semitic laws, participating in the deportation of Jews from its territory. This sympathy with the Axis brought serious problems with France after the Nazi defeat, who even applied an economic blockade to the little principality during the 60s. Relations took decades to restore. In 1993, Principality of Monaco was officially accepted as a member of the United Nations, and in 2002, a final agreement was signed with France ratifying its sovereignty. It was also agreed that if there were to be another succession crisis, Principality of Monaco would revert to being a protectorate of France, although de facto it could still be considered as such, since lacking armed forces, the country would be defended by France in the event of a foreign aggression. As you can see, Principality of Monaco was able to survive over time thanks to constant protections and the diplomatic skills of the Grimaldi dynasty, which, despite its ups and downs and moments when it lost its sovereignty in the long run, was able to maintain the essence of that country founded in the 13th century during a conflict within the Holy Empire. Do you think Principality of Monaco will continue to maintain its sovereignty in the long term? Don't forget to leave your comment and subscribe to the channel. Also, I leave in the description my social networks, and in case you want to see the new videos in preview and have a greater interaction with me, your donations on Patreon or channel members are welcome. See you next time!